So how's it going, guys? This is Ryan here.
And this is Other Ryan here.
And today we're going to be bringing you once again another theory. And this one is a fan submission by the user who goes by the name of Hudaman. Thanks very much for the submission, dude. It's a great one, and that's why you're in this video. Basically, this theory proposes the idea that Springtrap might be involved a little bit more with the murdering of the 5 children throughout the pizzeria's existence, which actually caused it to close down.
Yeah, as we can see in the East Hall corner of Five Nights at Freddy's, we sometimes get the little posters that tell the story of what happened to Freddy Fazbear Pizza and why it had to close over the forthcoming years.
Yeah, and it kind of mentions the fact that some kids were lured into a back room by, it says a mascot, so it could even be an animatronic.
Yeah, it doesn't actually state which animatronic, so many people believe this to be Golden Freddy at the time.
Yeah, that's, I mean, that was because that's all we really knew about, wasn't it? I mean, Springtrap's a very recent discovery by the whole community, which comes as no surprise at the end of the day. Scott's kept it kind of secret, and it's allowing us to kind of revisit all these things that we once put to a close, and I think the ideas are, they sometimes sync up. So I think the first thing we need to consider is, did someone possibly use this suit, or is there an animatronic who's always been in this suit?
Yeah, because if you look at the state of the suit, it looks really torn up, like someone's tried, it's either like someone's tried tearing the suit out, like the endoskeleton out, or he's tried putting it back together almost, if you know what I mean, like trying to almost fix the suit, but he couldn't in the end, so just left it how it was. Yeah,
because I mean the damage on the suit, it doesn't really look natural, does it? It looks a bit over the top with the, you know, the wiring and everything hanging out, especially the arms as well. There's literally nothing to the endoskeleton there, is there?
Yeah, so it's obviously like
exoskeleton, excuse me.
Yeah, like a bodge job trying to put it back together and failing pretty bad. Maybe that's why we see the animatronic twitching so bad, because it's been put back so weirdly and so badly.
You mean it's kind of malfunctioning because it's, the suit's a little bit kind of...
Yeah, like all the wires are messed up or something, they're not responding properly.
They've not been plugged back together and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so I think another thing we all need to consider as well is looking at the images we've been given of the Five Nights at Freddy's 3 establishment. There's a big difference in terms of the quality of the suits, or I suppose you could say animatronics. Okay, now if you see that most of the Five Nights at Freddy's 1 characters have now become some kind of prop. For example, we see Foxy, Bonnie and Freddy, of course. But if you actually look at the condition of the suits, they're not too bad. They actually look quite good. But in contrast, Springtrap or Salvage is actually looking quite worse for wear, isn't he? I mean, like...
Yeah.
Most of his exoskeleton is actually really damaged. I mean, if he existed in a similar timeline, why would he be so damaged yet all of the other ones appear so kind of clear?
So you're kind of suggesting that maybe the suit's been manipulated with a bit more than the other animatronics have?
Yeah, because why would his suit somehow become much more damaged and kind of deteriorate at a faster rate than the other guys? I mean,
I understand, yeah.
Yeah, especially the Five Nights at Freddy's 2 heads as well in the kind of box. They're all in really good condition, aren't they? So it's almost like only he has kind of experienced this deterioration.
Yeah, and maybe that's because this is constantly being used for something.
I mean, you even think about Mangle, don't you? Mangle was like torn apart, put back together, but she's still in, I suppose you could say, good condition. Like the head's in good condition, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Even regardless. So something quite malicious has actually been tearing at this suit.
Yeah, maybe there's some things that we don't actually know yet about Springtrap.
Yeah. I think there's a lot left to be uncovered still. Alright, so we've established kind of that Springtrap might be responsible for the murder of the 5 children. The post-it notes on the East Hall camera actually suggest that external parties were becoming slowly aware of the suspicions that lied within the Five Nights at Freddy's establishment. So what we have to consider is possibly something which actually once again relates to a previous video we did, that Springtrap might have caused the bite of 87. It is very possible that the company might have actually got concerned with the fact that Springtrap is not making much of a presence. For example, with the children and stuff like that. And if this suit's condition is actually deteriorated quite far, I mean, with like the rips and stuff in the suit, it might piece together external evidence, so the police might start to actually think, okay, this suit looks like it's been ripped into. So then what about if they brought this guy on the stage and allowed him to interact with the kids on the Bite of 87 day? Or should I say the day when the Bite of 87 happened?
Yeah, I mean, we could say that the Bite of 87 happened after night 6 because there was a party, wasn't there? They said, you're on day shift, stay close to the animatronics. So maybe
he was asked to kind of stick close, wasn't he? Yeah.
And he says that a yellow suit was taken. Now, maybe this yellow suit was taken, manipulated with, maybe returned, and then because of that, the animatronic saw things differently and maybe bit a child or bit Jeremy or something. It's unclear on who was actually bitten. Yeah. But I think that he definitely was manipulated into harming other people.
Are you referring to prior to, because obviously the 5 children were murdered and stuff? You mean when the guy put it back together, he didn't quite put it back together right?
Yeah, and it kind of, because I think all in Five Nights at Freddy's 2, all of the toy animatronics were fitted with a criminal database, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, I think all the animatronics were, actually. So maybe they manipulated with that, so they, instead of seeing criminals, they just see everyone as a criminal almost and attack them.
Don't they actually say at some points as well, the toy animatronics started to look at the...
Yeah, they start looking at adults really weirdly, yeah. They kept staring.
Just as a side note, though, try to avoid eye contact with any of the animatronics side if you can. Someone may have tampered with their facial recognition systems. We're not sure. But the characters have been acting very unusual, almost aggressive towards the staff. They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Maybe they started to suspect that someone was inside Springtrap or something. I mean, for example, Foxy and Marionette, they can actually still attack you with a Freddy head-on.
Oh, yeah.
What about if they actually noticed something was weird with this animatronic in the back room, and for them to look at the staff and start to, or adults should I say in general, that tells us that, of course, it was an adult, so it does make you think who actually used this suit and who manipulated it to cause the murders, doesn't it?
You also have to think back to Night 7 of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. After you complete your shift, you're given a pink slip, which is pretty much your being fired slip, saying that you was tampering with the animatronics and odor. When I first played through the game, I thought odor was just a joke that, you smell, you're fired.
Yeah.
but you think back to what the phone guy said. I think it was on Night 2 or Night 3. He says the old animatronics were left to rot and the smell was horrible.
Yeah, yes, yeah, you're right, actually.
So, I don't know, you kind of linking in with tampering with the animatronics and odor as well, it leads you as a prime suspect in the involvement of the killings on the Bite of 87.
Yeah, actually. I think the interesting thing, though, about that is, on Night 7 you play as a different character, don't you? You play as Fritz Smith.
Yeah.
And if you look at underneath, it says first day on the job. Really? What about if this guy had been in and out of the establishment prior, and then they all of a sudden, after the first day of his employment, they thought, oh, geez, perhaps we've just employed the guy who's been tampering with his suit all along.
Quite possibly, yeah.
Alright then, guys, so this was another great theory. Thank you very much for your submission, Hoodaman 2. Yeah, it was a great read, and it got us talking quite a bit on this one, actually, so hopefully you guys did enjoy this fan submission. Of course, remember to keep submitting your theories in the comment section below, and also PM us. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.
Goodbye, guys.
Want to see even more content from us?
Consider liking and subscribing to ensure you'll see all content in the foreseeable future.
And hey, why not check out our past 2 videos?